You're training harder, you're eating clean, you're pushing yourself to the absolute limit. But what if I was to tell you that all of that discipline is actually breaking you down, not building you up? And I find this is especially true of endurance and ultra endurance athletes, because whether you like it or not, in that sport, you have to learn to push through. But unfortunately, doing that in your day-to-day life sometimes can have negative effects. And that's why today I want to talk about RED-S, which stands for Relative Energy Deficiency in Sport. Now, this is not just something elite athletes deal with, but it's showing up in age groupers, recreational athletes, and busy professionals. And also, it's not just women. Men can suffer from this too. Hi, I'm James, a sport nutritionist and runner, and the guy who helps runners and busy professionals master their fueling so they can perform better without burning out. So if you're feeling slower, more tired, or like you've plateaued in your training, or even that your sleep, your hormones, or your recovery aren't right, then this video is for you. So what is RED-S? Well, first of all, it stands for Relative Energy Deficiency in Sport. And this is basically a theoretical model, right? Where low energy availability, LEA, which basically means not having enough fuel coming in, so total calories and also carbohydrate, to support the training that you're doing and also the physiological demands of life, and how that can cause a whole range of deleterious health and performance outcomes. So it happens when your energy intake doesn't match or align to your energy output coming from your training, but also your day-to-day life. But there's a little bit more nuance to this instead of it just being in an energy deficit to lose weight, because it's not just about calories. It's about chronic underfueling, whether intentional or unintentional, but over weeks or months. So here are a few of the causes that low energy availability might cause. Right, we've got reproductive function issues, bone health issues, GI function issues, that's digestive health, energy regulation and metabolism, how you feel energy-wise, hematological function, that's your body's ability to make red blood cells, urinary conditions, glucose and lipid metabolism, mental health issues. For the eagle-eyed among you, you may realize this is the only one which has an arrow both ways. That's an interesting insight. Also, neurological function, sleep disturbances, cardiovascular function, skeletal muscle functions, growth and development, and immunity. So there's a whole range of different things which low energy availability may cause issues with. And RED-S can happen with any athlete, men and women. This model has now evolved a little bit, so it's more than the female athlete triad of menstrual cycle issues, bone health, bone mineral density problems, and low energy availability. It's trying to encompass a slightly more holistic look. So why does this happen, particularly in endurance athletes? Here are a few common causes. Believing leaner equals faster, eating too clean or cutting carbohydrate or fat too low, fasting or skipping meals because you've got a busy schedule, increasing training volume without increasing fueling, fear of weight gain or loss of control, resulting in inappropriate fueling. So if you add in social media myths or bad nutrition advice, then it's really easy to see how you can suddenly slip into RED-S without actually realizing it. So here are a few signs to watch out for. So starting with females, missed or irregular periods, cold hands or feet, low libido or feeling fatigued despite having rested, frequent injuries, particularly stress fractures. And on that one, if you do suffer with a stress fracture and you think you might have some of these other symptoms, then I'd recommend you get a DEXA scan to look at your bone mineral density. Poor recovery or your progress plateauing, just to make really clear, the absence of a period isn't a good sign that you're training harder. It is very much a red flag, or that you're pregnant. In male athletes, reduced libido or even reduced frequency of morning erections, trouble gaining muscle mass, increased anxiety or mood swings, constant fatigue, poor performance despite training harder, frequent colds, flus or infections, or getting ill and not being able to shake them off. So if you've got one or more of these symptoms, it might be a sign that something else is going on, potentially caused by low energy availability. So what happens physiologically? Well, your body senses an energy shortage and it starts slowing down your non-essential systems. This might be reproductive system or hormones, metabolism or bone turnover. Muscle repair slows and training gains disappear. Eventually, even easy training runs start to feel hard. You don't recover well and injuries start stacking up. Basically, your body is prioritizing survival over performance adaptation. So you can avoid RED-S by thinking longer term, fueling intentionally. Eat around your training. Don't fast after your runs. Don't train hard without fuel on board. Prioritize carbs. Yes, even have some sugar around or during your workouts. Don't fear fats. Your hormones need them. Then start tracking patterns. So notice your hormones around your cycle or your libido or mood. So think about fueling for performance, not just eating clean. And please, if you feel like something's off, I would recommend trusting your body and going with your gut. Right, if you suspect that you're in red S, then here is what to do. Start increasing your energy intake, especially carbohydrate. Reduce the volume and the intensity of the training that you're doing to give your body space to recover. Track biofeedback, like how well you're sleeping, your sex drive, your period regularity, or even your digestion, because recovering from red S is possible. And often, the improvements in performance and energy are dramatic once you've rebalanced your system. So let's get a little sciencey for a second. So back in September last year, which was 2024, a group of researchers came up with an update for this model, where they suggested that instead of just low energy availability being at the center, it's actually, or could well be, a host of different factors. They mentioned there may be 8 things which are going on. So training, environment, mental health, which had sort of been addressed already by the double arrow in the other model, disordered eating, or eating disorders, nutrition, and that would include low energy availability, sleep, so that would be adding illness or infection, and finally an undiagnosed, spelled that wrong, clinical condition. So what this new center of the red S pyramid looks like is a slightly more holistic look, where there may be low energy availability, but also there could be a host of other things going on that are causing this wide range of different symptoms. So based on this new model, where it seems even more difficult to work out why you're suffering, I think this highlights the importance of working with a trained professional. Where do you find those? Well, I would recommend going on the BDA, which is the British Dietetic Association's website. So basically just Google BDA, find a nutritionist. They have a page on their site where you can find qualified professionals to help you fix what's going on. So remember, pushing through and pushing harder isn't always the best approach. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is fuel better or smarter and pull back training a little bit to allow your body to actually thrive. So if this video hit home, drop a like, subscribe, maybe share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Also, I'm going to reference the paper which this model is based off in the notes of this video. And if you want my red S checklist for runners, including red flags to watch out for and how to adjust your nutrition accordingly, then DM me on Instagram at nutrition.for.energy. Want to make sure your nutrition supports you? Then take a look at my latest video, the Runner's Nutrition Guide that could save your marathon.